Hello, friends and adventurers. Today we have something special. How to set up for a live player when you're a dungeon master, how to set up for your player one of those crucial key decisions that are making or breaking of a situation that change the world, that change the situation, that decide everything, that are dramatic, that are full of storytelling. You know, those kinds of decisions that people say that RPGs should be made out of? Well, how do you do it when you have a party of players, but you want to set it up for each and every one of them at the appropriate time and for it to be natural and perfect and everything, and yet for there to not be some soreness or complaints, some losses or bad outcomes that players dislike, even if there are high stakes? How do we do this? I'm Em, and welcome to the DM table. This is our subject today. So we have almost endless possibilities how to do this, but I will teach you one trick. It is a trick, but it is a good one. And the experience is natural, even if we set it up, because if the player experiences it for real, then it's natural. So we have 3 segments to this trick. First, whether player wants to do it. You want to do all the kind of background research that you want to do naturally for a player. You want to know what they like, what kind of situations do they like to participate in. You want to know what do they see themselves in the campaign as. You want to know what are they playing, what are they doing, what are they striving for. And you want to base this decision that will happen in a campaign on their goals, personality, and all this that I've listed and more. You want to know whether both sides of the decision will appeal to them as a person. Whether both outcomes are, in general, grand scheme of things, a good thing for the campaign, for the player. Because even if there are high stakes, even if there's loss, it shouldn't be something that is not fantastical and wondrous for your party. In the end, even if there's hardship to be had and decisions to be had and things to be overcome, you want to appeal from both sides to the player's personality, to their goals, to their everything. This is the first thing, whether the player will do it. You want to be sure, or pretty sure, that the player will want to be doing it. They want to be this person that is asked. They want to be the one making this decision, even if they're not quite consciously aware of this yet. But you have built this towards their character. The second thing is how to call out that player. Player needs to have the opportunity. So second segment is the player has opportunity. This is, let's take an example, when there's a possibility for an apprentice to join the party. Apprentice paladin, for example, exactly of order or just class in this case perhaps, of this one player. So this one player is the one responsible to sort of respond whether they accept this new young addition to the party. And this is a big deal because this is not a player character, this is a new party member that one of the players needs to decide whether it is acceptable to become one of the party members, even though they're not the player. That's from outside of character, but inside of the character, it's still a big responsibility, right? They are influencing the party mix in a grand way. Yet, it's somewhat up to them, but also up to the party. So they'll be consulted by the party, they'll be tried to be persuaded one way or the other, but if they have good friends in the party, in a good way where party won't try to break their decision. They don't want to just manipulate them into choosing what the party wants. They want to let them have their freedom. They want to let them have potentially their apprentice or not. They want to leave it to them, even if they have some ideas or some thoughts. And if you DM'd well up to this point, the party will have ample reason to believe your ability to provide such a character. But this is only one such example. And yet we are shooting at big things in this whole scenario, so yes. So by determining this by class in this case, we have called out the player to make the decision. That's how we disambiguate this one person from other players in the party. And we can use any sort of catch-22 for any of them, really. so that we can pick which one person do we pick for this, so that we can pick again when next person is taking their turn to get the big decision later on, and the next when we get to the next, and so that all the people that are around the table get the chance to equally participate in such big decisions. And yet somehow solo. Right? So this is what our opportunity means. Now the third segment is, will it synergize? You want to pre-plan so that all of this leads to better things in the campaign, as I have said so already. So that it doesn't bother other players, so that it can work for this player. And you want to see whether this is, in your predictions, something that the player will behave about, won't make a nuisance out of themselves or the opportunity. You want to, of course, do these things only when you somewhat know well your players and their characters, so big decisions are rarely for the beginning of the campaign, but it can be done if you have the confidence, the ability, the players, the somewhat pre-knowledge perhaps, but well, whatever it is, if the opportunity comes along, it can be done earlier. It is something of a good thing to be planned for in the long run. So it's somewhat as simple as that. Now it's up to your good writing and nice campaign to provide great decisions and challenges to be fun for the players. So adventurers, if you thought this was unique, maybe you can spare me a click and I could see you here perhaps next or even every week, watching, commenting, asking, whatever the questions you may have. I do want to answer them or just to talk to you, because talking together is very nice. And so, I would love to see you next time.